Hello everyone, PenguinSal here again. We're coming at you with another indie game review. This time it is Moonlighter. Now if you're not familiar with Moonlighter, this is one that I enjoy quite a bit. So essentially you play as Will, who just inherits a shop called Moonlighter. And honestly, one of the things I love about this game, and it's one of the big pulls for it, is you essentially play two games in one. So there's a classic dungeon crawler, it's almost like a SNES type game where you go into the dungeon and you fight monsters, you fight bosses, you collect all sorts of items and resources, you put them in your backpack, but then when you're done, if you don't want to go fight the boss, to clear the entire dungeon, you can use your weird relic to escape from the dungeon and go back to your home by paying a little bit of gold that goes up as you get further in the game. And then when you get home, you play the second half of the game, essentially, which is where you operate the shop of Moonlighter, which is where you sell all of the different items and resources that you find in the dungeon. You can sell them by actually setting the prices, and the customers will come in and they'll look around at your shop, and their facial expressions will tell you what they think about your prices. There's a chance that you're overselling things. It's supposed to be 50 gold and you're selling for 100, and they get pissed and they leave. There's also a chance that you could sell it for 50 and you're selling it for 10, and they see it's a steal and their eyes light up, and then they end up buying it for too cheap. It's just such a fantastic concept for a game. It's so fun to put these items out, and you kind of just pull a price out of your ass and see what they think about it. And if they like it, they buy it. And if they don't like it, you have to go and lower it, and maybe someone will come back and buy it. And then you use all the money that you earn from running Moonlighter to buy equipment and upgrade your armor and craft potions with some of the different resources that you collect. There's also permanent upgrades on your building to expand the amount of items you can have out at a time. Or my favorite is the cash register, which is everything you sell just sells for a little bit more on top as a tip. I think this is such a brilliant concept for a game, and you have the classic dungeon crawler that's a lot of fun. I actually think the combat is smooth. There's a couple of different weapons that play out differently. I think that the dodge roll works really well. I think the boss fights are a lot of fun and have a lot of nuance to them, and they feel like a classic video game dungeon crawler with boss fights. And then on the other side, the selling things is probably even more fun, because I just think there's a lot of thought that goes into it, and it's satisfying when you come back with this resource and you end up selling it for 500 gold, and you're like, wow, I sold one thing, and that's enough to buy me an upgrade, essentially. I'm just making up numbers here, but I think that part's a lot of fun. You can also, while you're exploring the dungeons, you can find eggs that you can actually bring back, and you cultivate them, and they become little partners that you can have follow you around, and they can make it so you stun enemies, they can pick up items for you, they can do all sorts of things just by following you along. I think that's a lot of fun. And so essentially it takes place in this place called Rynoka, which is where Moonlighter is one of the last businesses there. But by having Moonlighter flourish and by bringing in people and bringing in money, you can use that money to bring in other shops that you can use to your own advantage. And it also helps Rynoka grow into a more civilized area as opposed to a small rundown town that it has become. I think this concept of half combat adventure game, half business simulator, I think it sparked that idea in a lot of new games. Most recently, I saw it in Dave the Diver, where half the game is exploration, half the game is running a sushi restaurant. I love it. I hope this is a genre that really starts to flourish and more games come and do this type of thing, because half adventure, half business simulator, I think that is the great combination for a game, and Moonlighter proves it. In Moonlighter, you go and you have to explore dungeons. You start with the first one. When you beat it, there's another one, and you go until they're all complete. There is also a DLC that adds more content to the game. Honestly, I have not gotten the DLC. I have not played it, so I cannot speak for if it's any good, if it's worth getting, but it seemed like it at a low price point. So if you like Moonlighter and you beat it and you want more, there is a DLC to add some more onto the game. So Moonlighter's a game that I find myself coming back to time and time again, just because the joy of revisiting running Moonlighter and starting your shop from scratch, it's just a lot of fun in my eyes. So Moonlighter I'll continue to come back to time and time again, and you know, I hope you guys end up liking Moonlighter too. If you decide to check it out, there is a link for it in the description if you want to wishlist it or give it a try. Feel free to do so. If you like what you saw in the video, feel free to give me a like. Feel free to comment down below and tell me if you played Moonlighter and what your favorite part is. If you like the old school dungeon crawler part more, or if you like running the shop, or if you believe that they can't exist without each other. If you haven't subscribed yet, you'd like to do so, it really would help me out a lot. We can continue growing the channel and being able to put out more content, and we can keep getting more games to play and try and, you know, kind of showcase to you guys if you haven't heard of them or haven't tried them, and, you know, you want to see a little bit about them before you go and try them out. I totally understand that. I hope you guys really enjoyed this. I hope you liked hearing about Moonlighter. It is a game that I have fallen in love with time and time again, and I hope if you guys decide to play it, you enjoy it as well. Thanks for checking out the video, and I'll catch you guys soon.